Who are entry-level jobs intended for exactly? After graduating college last spring, I found a job unrelated to my degree but have been working there the past few months. It's a low-paying job, $40 a year, but as I begin my job search for higher-paying jobs related to my degree, I'm realizing why I've grown so complacent and comfortable at my current job. One of my biggest issues of job searching is that since I would be switching job fields, I have been looking mainly at entry-level positions. Yet, a lot of these so-called entry-level positions are paying less than I currently make and require higher-level degrees and much more experience than the word entry implies. I always thought that entry-level jobs were designed to train people to help them learn their way into a role and eventually move up, but it seems to me that companies today use the term entry-level synonymously with low-paying, yet with expectations of being a very experienced worker. Am I just being pessimistic? Or is it really that hard to find a job in today's economy that takes in people with not the most experienced educated backgrounds but still pays a survivable salary? Your dilemma is exactly why I've been afraid to cast a wider net and job search outside my fields. Search, I've losed. Out of those to go to the reward those of you dial those who do you I'm also a recentish college grad, finished in 2019. Been doing a patchwork of things since. I need a job, but the way these entry-level jobs work, it seems like the time I spend not in my preferred field is just going to further put me off track. Yet people say, well, just find something. Like there isn't a trade-off there. Also worth noting how we get punished in our job searches for not having a cohesive career path. I don't know. I thought college was for you to get knowledgeable about a subject area, then an entry-level job in that area would train you and help you find more real-world skills. Now they don't care if you have any relation with the company's mission at all. It is all about whether you can do the job, which they typically don't teach in school. It sucks. 30 Toyo here, graduated in 2014, never worked in my field, never made over barely $30, never made salary, and realize I went to the wrong college or shouldn't have went. But, ya know, life happens. Well, your experience is the same as mine. I graduated 2019 and pivoted towards a different career path and worked part-time throughout 2020 as I did some upskilling in order to build my portfolio. Now I'm ineligible for most internships, ineligible for new grad roles, and no one wants me as an entry-level worker because everyone else applying probably studied this stuff in university and has the experience to back it up. I got a sociology degree, ended up starting at a call center at a big company. My supervisor who hired me had a degree in nursing admin, and there we were. I'm running into the same issue. They'll state entry level yet require a year of experience or pay pretty low, or require experience in certain areas. I also dislike job positions not stating their salary range. I work an irregular shift, so it is pretty important to me to know all the info before wasting my time applying. Apply anyway. When they give an experience requirements, a lot of that is just a wish list. If they say 1 year experience, they are already expecting to hire someone pretty new. But that 1 year doesn't have to mean you were employed in a similar role for a year. It just means you have a year's worth experience with skills they are looking for. So, to use a programming example, they are expecting to not have to train you on programming basics. I agree, though. It is frustrating to not have a salary posted. Entry-level jobs suck ass, unless you were working at a startup. My experience has been that any role at a new company that's growing fast is likely to get a ton of shit thrown at you that's way above your pay grade. Those that can cope and who stick around tend to advance and then be able to job hop based on industry experience. The problem with this trajectory is that it generally excludes people with health problems, people with families, and people who can't afford to work below the prevailing wage for a couple years. People who insist on things like labor laws, job descriptions, vacations, and consistent scheduling workload will also have difficulty with this. Source: I tried bootstraps. It is working, but I'm hurt. That second paragraph had me howling in the sort of crying laughter that bubbles up when reading the awful truth. I work an entry-level job at a startup and it sucks as also. It is exactly as you described. Entry-level jobs were designed to train people to help them learn their way into a role and eventually move up. That's what I thought too. Now I think it is just entry-level into our company. True story, just saw today. Entry level, bachelor's degree and 6 years relevant experience preferred. Many of those postings are also only put up for legal reasons and they don't actually intend anyone. Design Chicago 17 hours ago. Can you explain 45? Reply, share, report, save, continue this thread. Entry-level jobs are for getting smoke blown up your ass until you're clinically depressed. So is college. Trust me, I'm 36. Smoke blown up your ass until you're clinically depressed, but they provide free coffee, drugs, College was the worst 4 years of my life. 32-year-old here can confirm. La. Realistic 27,081 16 hours ago. That's called boofing 41. Reply, share, report, save. I recently switched my field from finance to it. I finished a graduate degree in it related subjects, but nothing too technical, and I only had one part-time internship in that field. Naturally, I applied for entry-level positions, as I'm not comfortable being anything but a beginner, and that's how I see what an entry-level jobs for people who have less than a year of professional experience. If the entry-level position requires X number of work experience, I assumed that it includes all my work experience, even those unrelated to the field. So I count my work experience in finance. Internships are the key. I started off in it, and after losing my job it is impossible to get back in. A bitty 17 hours ago it was the graduate program, if you don't mind me asking. To reply, share, report, save, continue this thread. I think entry-level is very much subjective to the job position. Fresh out of college, my entry-level position only paid me around $35 per year. I most recently landed an entry-level role at a new company that required 3 years of experience. The pay is almost double that of my first job. Entry-level to me just means that it's the lowest rung on the ladder. Now, how high does the ladder go? Does the ladder start from the bottom? I agree with you. Entry-level jobs can be ridiculous. I graduated college in 2018 and struggled to find something with a live-able wage and benefits. I ended up in the insurance industry, which is never something I considered doing. I work in a field of insurance that is related to my college degree, so it's not completely unrelated. If you were looking for a new industry to get into, I would suggest trying insurance, especially since you have a degree in statistics. You could easily end up in underwriting the people to review applicants and decide to write policies, financial billing department, or actuarial. Or you could even probably be a claims adjuster. That is my specific role. All jobs in insurance tend to pay decently, at least above the cost of living in your area. Plus, you typically get some sort of profit-sharing bonus. The jobs tend to be very secure, especially if you are with a large nationwide carrier. Since you are working in insurance, You typically get good health insurance and other benefits. I also started off working in an office, and now, due to COVID, I work from home, and it will likely stay that way permanently. Insurance is one of those fields that a lot of people never plan on going into. They sort of just end up there, get comfortable, or even like what they were doing and end up staying. Insurance tends to be a field where they will accept a variety of degrees and are still willing to train for your job or pay for additional certification licensing. You also have a lot of room for diversification and growth in insurance. You might start off as a claims adjuster and then end up working in underwriting, and then move to marketing. I ended up in an entry-level claims position after college. I think I was there for 6 months before getting promoted with a raise. I was there for another year and got another raise. This year, in being reviewed for another promotion, I met the experience requirement. Even if you don't get a title promotion, you tend to at least get a cost of living raise every year, at least at my company. Claims adjuster is a brutal job. It's another call center role. I had a buddy from college graduate with a business degree. He is a claims adjuster and even tried to get me into it. He said that it is fairly easy to get in, especially if you apply to the trainee roles, and thankfully the job doesn't pay commission. I was almost interested until I noticed that you'd have to be somewhat skilled in mathematics and basic arithmetic. However, I recently recommended this field to a friend who just recently graduated with a math degree. I hope she applies because she adores math. Reading the comments and your post got me thinking, and here's what I think the answer is in the cases you are describing. Entry level is the company looking at a job that someone who's been there for 20 years is doing, and they are saying we are paying them $75 due to seniority and the raises they've hit since they've been here. But since everyone is replaceable, bet we can get a recent grad to do most of those tasks for $39. I took a job that was a promotion for me that everyone at the company felt should have been a way higher paid grade, but I was in a really entry-level, glorified admin-type position prior. If it was posted at the level everyone felt it should have been, the company probably would have expected more experience and credentials, and I wouldn't have gotten picked. I did very well for once in my life, lol, and was grateful for the opportunity, but I know it was posted like that out of desire to save money. I think the traditional meaning of the term entry-level job has completely evaporated in the past 2 decades. You have seniors bagging groceries and working retail because they can't afford to retire. College grads working at call centers for years as it's the only job they can find. I'm 31 and make $43K a year. It's the reality of the field I'm in. Museums. Even with my liberal arts background, I've made as much as 60 but at jobs where I was out of my mind miserable. So I'm content where I am. It's not a problem for me personally because my husband is a higher earner and we have no debt. But I know it's a struggle for a lot of my friends in the field. Even the director of our department tops out at 65. I would not go to college for anything in the history, museums, art gallery, library, cultural sector unless you were prepared to live in the middle of nowhere in order to have a job in your field. But it seems to me that companies today use the term entry-level synonymously with low-paying, yet with expectations of being a very experienced worker. Not pessimistic at all, it is the cold hard reality. Lol. I've been on like 10 interviews this year, not accounting for hundreds of applies to so-called entry-level jobs. At least 90% want you to be very experienced and are just called entry so they can pay you less. This is what happens when everyone goes to college. Supply-demand. There have been so many people going to college the past 30-40 years and graduating that the entry-level job market in many fields is filled with a large number of demand and limited supply. This means most companies can be picky on who they give the job to because they have a large number of candidates trying to get their job. The biggest lie our school systems have taught kids is you need to go to college, and going to college means you get a good job. None of this is true. After you graduate, you need to find a good job, work your way up, then get paid a good salary. If you can get your foot in the door somewhere without an education, you don't need to spend 4 years 100 on a piece of paper. This is the unfortunate reality kids find out when they graduate. Only a third of Americans have a bachelor's degree. The labor market is monopolistic for more reasons other than employers can be picky. That goes for unskilled as well as skilled labor in the United States. I think they are just wanting upper and mid-level people who are really desperate for a job. I have had recruiters find my info and contact me about entry-level jobs, even though at this point I have changed my resume to not publicly display my resume because I am sick of their shit. They contact me though I am more at the mid-senior level for shit-paying contract position entry-level jobs. I have even had one tell me I should take his position because my job was not a real job and that I was being paid too much. I was a researcher at a Rome university. My pay was already shit. I have many try to act like my experience is not real experience. It is like they try to break people's confidence to try to force them into a shitty position. They are not actually looking for entry-level people, just trying to tear down mid-senior level candidates down to get them to accept like an abusive so. Fervent apathy 12 hours ago, same here. I don't think I've seen many other people talk about this. Am mid-level with direct reports, don't have a resume on any job boards and haven't listed myself as open to new opportunities on LinkedIn, and still pretty regularly get recruiter emails asking if I'm interested in receptionist and customer service roles. 41 reply share report save. Entry level means the entry point at that particular company. That doesn't mean it's fresh out of college. It means that at that company, people who are on the bottom rung start there. Also, there's a marked difference between choosing a job and a career. If the particular career you want requires certain experiences and skills, you'd need to acquire them before applying them. This includes the time worker doing such things. So how does this work? Find a different company in which your position will grow to the one you ultimately want in 1-2 years. You will get in at a lower level, i.e. less skill, and grow into the next role, entry level to their company. For example, a company may have sales reps, sales managers, regional sales managers, and the director of sales. And the The sales rep position is typically filled with people with sales experience. The entry-level tag is there to let people know the position is the lowest sales position in the company hierarchy. Entry-level to the company is not a thing. That's a bullshit concept recruiters and her came up with to justify treating applicants like garbage. I gave up in the middle of the online group interview. I guess I'm really bad at interviews. There was 3 other people with me in the video call. The recruiter told us to introduce ourselves and he seemed very interested in the previous roles of the other candidates. They were offering a sales position. He asked them about their roles, what were their tasks in their previous jobs, and questions that matter. He seemed already very interested in a specific candidate with a long time of experience, and when it was my turn, he just made some basic questions about who am I and what I like doing in my free time. He didn't even ask me about what I did in my previous job, or something related to jobs at all. I felt like I was losing my time and negative thoughts came into my mind, so I convinced myself I was already being rejected. Scrolling through LinkedIn is fucking depressing. People posting about the new companies they founded, people connecting with each other from Harvard and MIT, and oh, I'm doing this with my career and I'm so excited to be starting a new role here, and this is an exciting opportunity. When did work become this life-affirming thing? We do realize we were still making money for a boss and you're still replaceable. So much fake enthusiasm out there. So much fake enthusiasm. If you think LinkedIn is depressing, try Blind. It is just rich people bragging about how much money they have. Yeah, I thought Blind would be a great place to have candid conversation about the day-to-day realities of software engineering. Instead, I go to fuck 250 starting 500 cursu. I'm so underpaid, lol. Honestly hope these people get outsourced. Lol, what is Blind? I have legitimately never heard of this. Blind is the reason why I wholeheartedly advocate for an international effort to nuke the Bay Area, or at least cause some sort of an apocalyptic earthquake. The US should be spearheading this effort, and will end up being better for it. It is just people who can barely spell on their phones complaining or humble bragging about their tsin. Many are likely trolling as well. I hate how my industry has turned into tech bros who mostly talk about stocks, tea, and job hopping. Yep, it is people circle jerking each other, and boy is it cringeworthy to read through all the humble brag posts. Hey, there's a great Twitter account that focuses on this. Samrans21 9 minutes ago. It pisses me off when I think about how this is who society rewards. Vote, form, reply, share, report, save. I would not advise using LinkedIn for anything other than networking with people working at companies and careers that you want to work at in. The feed is usually quite circle jerky and cringy. Lol, LinkedIn is full of fake people bragging about how they helped their friends land a job, or how they hired the best salesperson with no experience, or how they were productive every day and working harder than everyone in the world. I just look at those posts and laugh. Like, bro, we were not stupid, lol. I can see through the lies, and then you see more fake people co-signing. Don't get me started on the fake stories, lol. I saw a poor stranger and gave him $500. Now he's making money and rich. Bro, the clout and lies. Or the ones writing about how they were not getting post views, or the obsessed wanted influencers. Smith, don't even get me started on the spill my whole life only users. These ones will talk about their relationship problems, family issues, and how they were the best working mom and best working dad in the world. I just like the posts and keep pushing. The way people spill their business on there irks my soul. I'm so sick of seeing people leaving a seemingly great job just to land another great role. I mean, it's obviously envy on my part because I can't catch a fucking break, but some of these people are useless. Have worked with them and they're reclimbing the ladder while my life is completely put on hold. I can't bear it. Yeah, that's the worst. When it is someone you know and have worked closely with in school or work and know his capabilities compared to yours. Not a good mindset though. Just be happy for them and worry about your own life. Don't compare yourself to others. They know how to play the game. They learn to do the bare minimum to get by and then use others to do the hard labor. I mean, it's obviously envy on my part because I can't catch a fucking break, but some of these people are useless. Have worked with them and they're reclimbing the ladder while my life is completely put on hold. You were almost there. You can almost grasp it. You are on the verge of understanding how the system works. Everything is not always as it seems. Often, they haven't left by choice, or they had a toxic work environment that they were not going to mention on a public forum. I've been pretty successful with getting leads, intros, and jobs from LinkedIn by sending this note: Dear, I'm looking for my next great gig and would love any leads you can think of. Any ideas? Positive, short, offers an immediate call to action. If they have something or know of someone, they will always offer something. I know how you might feel, but understand that these people are likely into debt up the wazoo. I used to work for a startup that was like that. Founded by UCLA graduates, they had funds according to Basic Crunch, all the works. Turns out after I signed that offer, the paychecks gets in late. Then, I got furloughed. By me all in a span of 1 year. I was at a loss since I vetted them, and I thought they had a great product. Turns out the CEO was just a patent troll. My small team only had to make a prototype for them to pretend they had a product. The CEO was just there to suck money from the patent claims and investing in the office space. It was all a sham. COVID hit them pretty hard though, so the office space investments plus the legal fees to defend their patent claims are drowning them in debt. Had to do a deep Google search on their supposed patent to find this out. Damn. Really sorry you had to deal with all that. Mutton trees 3 hours ago. My biggest fear when looking for a new job: form, reply, share, report, save. Exactly. Whenever I open LinkedIn, there is always someone who is thrilled to join size. I deactivated F last year due to same reason. Seeking external validation, boosting egos, bragging about everything to get dopamine hits has become the LinkedIn culture. Unfortunately, LinkedIn has benefited me in networking with people finding new jobs at SAR. But this whole, hey, see me, I completed this course, see I did this, I'm great is pure cringe. I have realized that many people are doing it just to sound relevant even though they genuinely don't want to post. Also, I don't know if this has happened to anyone, but what's this discrimination between men and women? Many of my male friends I have experienced that many recruiters only reply to girls. Sadly, this is true. I told one of my female friends to contact the hiring manager on LinkedIn. He replied immediately. I have sent 3 messages to the same guy and not a single reply. Anyway, I'm a woman, and I get more male recruiters responding to me than women. Even in the hiring process, if it's a man that's interviewing me, I always get hired. But if it's a woman, nope. I wonder why. This is not a woman hate train or shaming. I'm just pointing out similarities and something I've noticed too. Have you tried reaching out to female recruiters? I agree with you. The hiring process is just trash. For your second point, I think being attractive is definitely part of it. But companies are also trying to diversify, and that's why women gets more calls from male-dominant tech companies. That being said, the hiring bar is the same, have to perform well in interviews to get offer regardless of gender. And I've seen and heard women being treated worse at work. Honestly, I get more annoyed by LinkedIn than any other social media. You were probably connected with or following the wrong people. There's an option on LinkedIn that allows you to hide certain people's posts on your timeline so you don't see when they post. LinkedIn can be an excellent source if you follow the right people. I once saw it referred to as the Tinder of job sites and heard the phrase LinkedIn industrial complex. I joined anyways because a career coach I was working with recommended it. I did not find any value in it. In a strange way, it made me feel exposed and desperate. Ultimately, I'm very worried about finding a new career. I just turned 40, but I deleted my account because I'm sure there has to be another way. Right, when I'm interviewing with someone, I like to research that person in particular, look at the recommendations they've given, see what qualities they highlight, because that's something I can try to illustrate when discussing my own experiences with this person. Substantial Bolora 1 Norigo Yi. Agree with the exposed thing. I'm a very private person and I feel so weird having that bitch out in the open where people from all over the world and people I don't know have some form of access to me. I just have it cause of job hunting. It is very cringy when people share their personal social media, Twitter, Pinterest, and life on there. I made sure to turn off my location and delete my no location from my resume. A lot of strange weirdos out there. Sadly, if you don't have LinkedIn, some employers will think you are hiding something or not passionate about your career. I wish I could delete it and still be able to get interviews and offers. 40 reply share report save. Potentially unpopular opinion. LinkedIn seems to me to be mostly a big circle jerk by shallow people who really value appearances. It's pretty ridiculous, I agree, but trying hard to put myself in someone else's shoes. Some people spend more time working than with their families and friends, so I guess they crave that sort of community and feedback. I don't know. It's hard to play this little exercise. It's literally a social network about work. Mutton Trees 3 hours ago gross 42 reply share report save. Today I saw the dumbest coworker I've ever had receive her second promotion at a new company. She is now a chemist. She can hardly spell and has some of the worst lab technique I've ever witnessed. She posts shit all day that she thinks sounds smart. Don't look through your feed. Just go through the jobs section, but even then for me, it has been a lot of recruiting companies. I just go directly to the jobs tab, problem solved. I can't wait to be comfortable enough in my career path to get off LinkedIn. Yeah, it is depressing. Seems like a lot of fake humble bragging. Yeah, I would look through LinkedIn and get jealous of others. I work hard in life and have nothing to show for it. I legitimately haven't ever scrolled through my LinkedIn feed. I log on to apply to jobs and sometimes network a bit with people at companies I'm interested in. I had no idea people used it like regular social media, posting about their lives and such. When I used LinkedIn and scrolled, I only saw job offers. Was I using it incorrectly? You must have been on the jobs tab. That's the only place worth looking at anyway.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.